tuning in. Okay guys, sorry about the weird little bit of my feedback noise there. I have, for the most part, remembered to fix that. But let's actually move on over to the overlay once again, because we are going to be heading on to the next game. And it is going to be between these two players here. Now, as you can see, we are in the ace match. It's going to be between NetWars Yeti, and once again, Dewalt steps up to the podium for his team in the ace match. This is SK Alpha's fourth match in the STPL, and Dewalt has played now 6 games, so putting a lot of faith in Dewalt. He's been their ace player before, and here he is once again as their ace player. Yeti also has appeared as an ace player as well, because NetWars have it. This is only their 3rd game, and he does have 3 wins, but both of them... Wait, what do you mean cam muted? Okay, you know what, it's fine. But yeah, it's going to be a really cool game coming up. It's going to be a PvP on this map here. It is going to be Grand Line SE. Grand Line SE, one of my favourite 4-player maps in the game, actually. Obviously, 4 corners. We do have island bases on 9 and 3 o'clock. And of course, we do have extra gas bases at 12 and 6. The other 4 bases on the map are the natural thirds, and they are mineral only, so that can come into PvP. We actually saw that very recently, about 2 weeks ago in the STPL, where one of the Protoss players did go for Reba and took the island incredibly quickly. Meanwhile, the other player took the mineral only, so that played into a pretty interesting game. Now, PvP can be quite interesting. It can be quite lackluster, but I get the feeling with players such as Yeti and Dewalt, we should have a fairly exciting PvP in our hands here. Now let's head on over to the game, and let's see who is going to win this ace match for their team, who is going to take the win in the series, and who is going to improve their chances of making it to the first playoff round. Let's find out. Okay, starting us off in the top left position, 10 o'clock, we do have, once again, SK's Dewalt. And his opponent spawning over here in the top right position in the white. It's going to be fighting for NetWars, Yeti. And yes, Caspas, the groups will be redrawn between rounds, so... basically, I'll do another group draw stream, probably, I guess it'll be in about 5 to 6 weeks, depending on how long the playoffs go, but this is, of course, week 4, there's going to be, there's 7 weeks overall, in each round, so there's going to be another 3 weeks of casts, another 2 weeks of games, because week 5 was played, no, week 5 is being played this weekend, so there's 3 more weeks of casting for the round, or for round 1, and then we're going to be heading on to then we're going to be heading on to the round 1 playoffs, which should be pretty fun, and then round 2, so should be pretty cool either way. There's going to be different maps per rounds as well. Some of them may stay in the pool, I've not quite decided on that, but the playoffs will be the same maps as what you saw in the round leading up to it, just to make it a little bit more fun for the teams, a little bit more fair. I don't want the top 4 teams to have to learn entirely new maps just for the playoffs. That would be kind of silly. But there is a slightly different format for that. But here we go. Yeti actually sending out 2 probes. I think that one was a little bit of a misclick. Gonna send that back straight home. But here we go. Looks like Yeti trying to pull a fast one on Dewalt, putting a little bit of probe micro into action. Gonna force one of these probes through the minerals. And Dewalt looks like he's going to give up and actually send that to Scout. So really, really nicely done by him. And in answer to your question from the thread, Caspas, as well. Am I saying that right? I think I am. I can't actually remember what the question was now. I'll have to look it up after the game. But Yeti's still being annoying with his probe. Dewalt has lost another little bit of mining time by his poor probe being sent through the minerals. And poor Dewalt is going to send his probe in the wrong direction. So it's going to be a very long time before he does scout what his opponent's doing. Yeti has taken a fairly quick gas here. Looks like Dewalt has got his gas up a little bit quicker though. So he may look to go into Dragoons a lot faster. We could actually see a second gate or an expansion coming up for Yeti here fairly shortly. As he is pulling a lot of minerals now. Dewalt should actually be sending his probe across position now. He does know that his enemy probe came right into his base very early. But this probe is still alive, still practically on full health. It's taken 5 hull damage, but it does have all of its shields. And he's doing a pretty good job keeping it alive against that Zealot. Going to give him all of that information that he needs. He's going to see the Salmon Exfil coming up. He's going to see the pylon in the main. Now, what exactly is Yeti doing? He's still gaining a lot of money here. Looks like the probe's going to get in, going to give DeWalt the vision he needs as well. But here we go. Finally, a second gateway has been added on. Is he going to go for a third gateway, or is he going to go 2 gateway robo? Now, as Artosis explained on the ASL the other day, there's actually a few very weird situations in PvP, like if someone goes for 3 gateway pressure and the other player goes DTs, the 3 gateway pressure guy dies. But of course there is the situation as well where you can go 3 gate robo. You can also, there's so many different openings in PvP. That's one of my favorite things about the mirror matchups, all of them in StarCraft 1. There's just so many various openings you can do. It looks like we are going to have a Citadel. The probe was cleaned up, and this is going to allow him to go into that Templar tech. Do we see any additional buildings being added on for Yeti? Looks like it's just going to be the 2 gateways for now. Looks like he does want to put a little bit of pressure on, but of course DeWalt does have the high ground. He will have the quicker reinforcements. Hey Lucky Noob, welcome back, man. And Lucky Noob's color did change. That's kind of funny. But looks like we do have range coming up for Yeti. That's going to give him a little bit of an edge in the fights, but the range should be coming up for DeWalt as well. Although maybe he did delay that to get the quicker Templar archives, but I really wanted... Okay, this could be a little bit dangerous. Now, DeWalt is going for those Dark Templar. That's going to allow him... I mean, he could go straight into High Templar, but I imagine we'll see some DTs here. If he goes for a Robo, he could even go for a DT drop here, and that could be devastating against our Protoss player. There we go. He's actually going to go for a Forge. This is something I've seen a lot recently as well. It does allow him to get a cannon at his expansion to stop any opponent DTs. But I mean, Yeti is playing quite greedy here. He's not got a single bit of detection. He hasn't started a Forge. He hasn't started a Robo. So his observers are going to be incredibly late. And if we do see these DTs coming in soon, there's no Storm upgrading. So there will be a DT on the way shortly. Now, what is Yeti scouting around in the middle? You can actually build here, so it is a nice place to proxy a gateway a little bit later on. But with no detection, this could actually be a very, very dangerous game for Yeti to be playing. The Robo is finally coming up. Looks like we do have a probe. Gonna scout the amount of Dragoons and Zealots. This can be a tell as to how much tech is going on behind. He knows roughly what the gateway count's going to be, and he knows it's quite low, so he's going to have to build a Forge very quickly, or at least try and rush out the observatory, because this guy right here, he is going to do a lot of damage to our poor enemy Protoss player, and if Yeti is not careful, he is going to lose a lot of his probes. There is no Forge on the way. The observatory hasn't even started, and a gamble is not paying off here for poor Yeti. It looks like he's going to try and go for the counter to try and force the DT away, but this is going to be a lot of damage going down here. Oh man, the DT could even get in and block the observatory. It looks like Yeti's going to try and block the ramp, does not quite manage it. Of course, this is only one DT, so if he can try and transfer his probes away, he may be able to hold on. It's not all in at this point for Dewalt. He has got an expansion himself. And Yeti's, of course, was a little bit quicker. But as you can see, we do have those 3 cannons back to defend, but this DT is looking for blood. It's kind of surprising he's not trying to snipe the Robo. I guess it's because it takes a long time, but Yeti, with the perfect play, gonna delay the DT from getting any damage done to his probes. But this could be dangerous. The first observer just about gonna finish, and that is gonna allow him to clean up this DT. And Yeti is bound to feel good about this. He only lost about, well, apparently he lost 7 probes. I don't know how that was possible. It didn't look like that many, but there we go. The probes being pulled back to the main as soon as he knows that's clear. We have a lot of gateways being added on for Dewalt. Gonna allow him to stop building up those units and try to brute force his way through. He's getting +1 attack. It's going to be a long time before we see any upgrades for Yeti here. Looks like, could this be a forge? No, it's going to be another pylon. And Pino, thanks for putting my stream on the TL thing. I usually do it, like I always do it, but I forgot this time. I guess I was kind of in a rush to get started, I think, because I was like a minute or 2 late. But you know what, thank you very much for that. Looks like we don't have anything crazy going on, but Yeti's going to try and put some damage down. But there is going to be Storm here very shortly. There is at least 2 storm, or nearly 2 storms on this guy. 1 storm on this guy, and 1 storm on that guy. That's going to be very dangerous for Yeti to push in against. Now, is Yeti going to go for a shuttle? Is he going to try and take that extra, the island base very quickly? No, it looks like he's going to try and go into his own Templar tech here. Now, one thing to note is there is still no robot for Dewalt, so there is not going to be anything to clear out this observer. But he is trying to bait him into the cannon, but of course the observer getting all the information it really needs to see. It can actually fall back right now and not really feel too bad about anything. Seeing that his opponent does have 6 gateways, gonna give him the ability to either look to build some more gateways himself. He is of course going up to 5 gateways himself, and he is building a lot of units. He did have the high gateway count for quite a long time. But of course, with Storm as well as those extra gateways, that could be a lot of damage coming down. And you know what, that would be a very, very dangerous play for Yeti to make. Yeti should look at really expanding sometime soon. It's going to be quite difficult for him to expand later on, but he's going to try and match the gateway count at the wall. It's going to be a little bit later, and his AoE is incredibly late right now. Now, as someone did mention in the chat, Dark Archons with feedback are actually really, really good against High Templar, but Dewalt taking that island, gonna make use of a later robo to do this. This is why I was surprised that we didn't see a shuttle out of Yeti a little bit earlier, because how exactly is either player gonna attack this? They're gonna have to get their own robo. Of course, Yeti doesn't have an expansion. He's gonna find it very hard to take a ground expansion as well, because for the rest of the game, pretty much, he's going to be behind in units, I would say. As long as Dewalt keeps up his macro. Dewalt's going up to 7 gateways. This is going to make it a little bit harder for him to afford an expansion. But look at this position Dewalt's putting himself in. He's on top of the high ground, outside of the base, and there is a shuttle moving in behind this as well. He's going to go in from 2 angles at once. Going to try and draw the army of Yeti away, just so this drop can go in, but Yeti not taking the bait. What is in here? There is a Zealot, there's a High Templar. How is the Storms going to be? Nice Storm on the first set of probes. Great Storms in general. 12 kills, 5 kills on that one. I think that went up to 7. And that is all of Yeti's probes in his main have gone down now, minus this guy who got away running to a pylon. And all of Yeti's units moving up to try and get this thing, but here we go. Look at the units from Dewalt moving in to get that pincer maneuver. Dewalt may just win this right here, right now. A nice Storm goes down on the Zealots, a nice one again. And Yeti's army is split. He's going to go in for the pincer movement himself. And of course there's a lot of tech units in the army for Dewalt, but there's not actually that many Dragoons, not really that much brute force. And Yeti may just about hold on. He's doing his best. He's pushing Dewalt's army back. But there's still a Zealot in the main. And that is going to be so annoying for Yeti to Yeti to pull back. Now, of course, Dewalt's going to be taking this third base very, very shortly. Dewalt's spending a lot of APM trying to move his army back right now, just to make sure he doesn't die to the counterattack. There is 2 Archons here, and they are going to do a lot of damage for any Zealots he has. He doesn't actually have that many Dragoons, so this could be a very quick counterattack. This could do a lot of damage, actually. There's so many units here for Yeti, and is there any Storm? There is one, but is it going to be enough for the cannons? Going to do so much to help out on this, and a misclick. He actually kills one of his own Archons, I believe, and suddenly the tech advantage of Yeti's army has actually been decimated here. The Zealots pushing in, they're getting in on top of the Dragoons. This is such a close engagement though. He's trying to micro back against the Zealots, but there's so much from Dewalt. He has the closer reinforcement path, and he has a lot more probes. We can see the third base is going up over here at the 9 o'clock position. He's actually hiding a Zealot down here as well, just to check for any hidden bases. And I mean, it looks like we're going to have Yeti try and go for his own Templar drop there. He just loaded them up straight away. But I mean, how on earth is he going to come back from this deficit? He's almost 20 supply in probes behind. That does mean his army supply is quite similar. But Dewalt is in such a commanding position in this game. Yeti can still do his best to hold on. He does have a lot of Templars, as you can see here. He's got 5 overall. And if he can get good storms, if he can get good damage on this third base, then maybe he can come back. But look at this, Dewalt moving down to try and intercept the shuttle. No, he does pull back. Trying to get this observer, actually, that's what he was doing. But here we go. Looks like this poor shuttle is actually just full of 4 Zealots, and it may go down to the cannons here. Looks like we're actually going to have probes being ferried into Zealots. He's going to have to pull those back, but those cannons are doing so much damage to the Zealots here, and the probes helping out as well. But this is still 2 Zealots in the main bit, or in the third base here, and Zealots do a lot of damage, and they have a lot of health. It takes a long time for workers to kill these. Look at this, Dewalt trying to do a nice probe drill to try and deal with this. More units actually going to be ferried over to deal with this. Bring in a few extra probes just to start that mining. But Yeti still doesn't look like he wants to take a third base. He's going to load up more units. Of course, he did kill the cannons there. That's going to be a big advantage for him. Now, how many gateways do we have for both players? Looks like we've actually got 8 for Dewalt. We actually have 8, no, actually that's 7 coming up for Yeti. So Yeti is behind in gateways. He can't really afford to support too many more, and he is 30 supply behind now. Looks like Yeti's going to try and move out, take the high ground, but Dewalt has had exactly the same idea, exactly the same time. And unfortunately for Yeti, Dewalt's army is just so much bigger. And here we go, looks like we could have another big engagement here. Dragoons and Zealots trying to engage on each other, but Yeti's taking a lot of damage trying to move away here, and with a smaller army already, this is not a fight he can afford to take. He strangely doesn't have an observer here to kill that. Now he finally does. And that's going to make it a little bit harder for Dewalt. He's not going to know where Yeti's army is coming from, but he has such a big army here. It's spread out so well. And the Archon's getting a little bit too far forward. Gonna actually lose one, I believe, storming the Archons. And Storm doesn't actually do that much damage to Archons, but, I mean, even some Storms coming in from Yeti, gonna try and storm the High Templars as they do move in. But Dewalt's actually blocking the island base from coming up. And here we go, it looks like Yeti has gone into full turtle position. Where did the shuttle for... Oh man, I missed the shuttle, didn't I? The shuttle actually went down, I think, for poor Yeti, so he didn't actually manage to get too much damage on that. But here we go, we have the engagement that may end the game, but this is such a tight choke. Going to be very hard to push in against all these storms, but this is a lot of counter-storming as well. And storming a single High Templar, not the best, but you know what? Dewalt has so many units, Yeti's trying to hold on. He's lost most of his Dragoons. It's Zealot on Zealot action. And nice storms from Yeti. Gonna try and do as much damage as he can using this Archon. This Archon is completely confused. But there we go, another storm from Dewalt. There's so many units coming in here. I don't think Yeti can hold on to his natural. And it looks like SK Alpha are gonna win their 4th game in a row for the Shinhan Tank Pro League. And that is going to be absolutely insane. The first team to do that, GG! And SK Alpha and Dewalt. Dewalt takes his 6th win in a row, and SK Alpha do take their 4th win in a row as well. Looks like the game went on just a little bit longer. Dewalt wanted to kill his opponent, eliminate him fully, just to showboat a little bit, you know. I've seen players do that before. I do that sometimes on ladder as well, when I'm like, I beat you, it feels so good. But yeah, that was pretty cool. That was an awesome game. Let's actually just bring myself over to my screen a second. Because what I'm going to be doing is just updating the overlay. As I said before, guys, hopefully you're all enjoying your start to the weekend. I know a lot of people have been at work today, especially European, well, Americans have been at work as well, but Europeans are just getting home from work. We've been home just a little bit longer. Americans, not to fear, you shouldn't have much long to go, or much longer to go even. But that was a really, really cool game. Let's actually just report that. Let's bring up the results screen. Let's actually just play some music once more. Am I able to cast all the ASL matches in HD? Unfortunately, I don't think you can do that because that content is owned by Africa, and I wouldn't want to step on their toes. And plus, I think there was... Wait, was there an English... No, I don't think there was an English cast for ASL 1 and 2, but I don't want to get in trouble. I don't want to step on their toes. They may want to do something at some point. You never know. But let's actually give the win to SK Alpha. Let's save it, and let's head on over to the results screen. Just to show how that series played out. Now, that's the quickest I've ever finished a series, to be fair, but there's not really too much I could have done. But let's move on over. As you can see, there was 3 walkovers at the start of the series. Not really too much I could have done, but STPL isn't over for today. There's another series coming up straight after this. But as you can see, Last won a walkover against True Touch. Mazur won a walkover against Terra. Yeti won a walkover against Magician, and then Dewalt wins 2 in a row to clinch the series for SK Alpha and get his 6th win in the STPL. Is anybody going to be able to stop this man? I don't think so. He is the god of Group A right now, and he is very difficult to take down. Now, I mean, as I said, there is another series coming up straight after this. I just need to very quickly go to a back soon screen just while